Okay, folks, I'm going to call the meeting to order. As required under the Planning Act, a public meeting is being held prior to the committee making a decision on these applications. The first thing I would ask is everyone signed in at the back there? If you haven't, we would appreciate it if you would do that. And we live stream the meeting on our YouTube channel, and the recording is available after the meeting. Because meetings are accessible to the public in all of these ways, video or audio recording by members of the public is not permitted in these council chambers. This is to ensure that all attendees and those who come to make a deputation feel at ease, and we thank you for your cooperation on that matter. All right. I'll start out by identifying our Committee of Adjustment. We've got Ms. Richardson, Ms. Archer, Mr. Erickson, Mr. Finn, Mr. Strangway, and I'm Mr. Robertson. And we have staff. Who did I miss? Oh, I'm sorry, Councillor Yeo on the Zoom there. Welcome, Councillor Yeo.
Thank you.
All right. And staff members here, we've got Catherine Evans, the Development Supervisor. We've got Mr. Shahid, Planner 2, Mr. Okawat, Planner 2, Mr. Ghaffari, Planner 2. We've got Mr. McKinnon, the Supervisor, Plans, Review, and Inspections. Mr. Lahaye is our Secretary-Treasurer. And Ms. Crockford is our Recording Secretary. Need a menu here now to keep everything in order. All right. All right. Have you had a look at the agenda? Are there any comments or questions with respect to the printed agenda? All right. Being none, can I get a motion then to adopt that agenda as printed? Mr. Strangway, second Mr. Finn. Any further comments or questions? All those in favor? And that carries. All right. We're now doing, are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Any declarations of pecuniary interest? All right, being none. The minutes of the last meeting, comments or questions with respect to those minutes? All right, can I get a motion then to put those, Ms. Archer, do I have a seconder? Do I have a seconder? Councillor Yeo? Any further comments or questions with respect to the motion on the floor? Being none, all those in favor? All right. And having considered the fact that Councillor Yeo is on Zoom, we will be requiring a recorded motion on the recorded motion on the application. So just we'll keep that in mind if you would. All right. All right, for the benefit of those that are here and those that are online, the committee will hear comments, gather information, and may ask questions to clarify statements made. The committee may ask and answer questions or redirect questions to the appropriate person. Please note that any information or comments given to the committee during this meeting, they are considered evidence. We will first hear from staff, then the applicant or his or her agent. We will then hear from any person in support of or from those who have questions, concerns, or are opposed to the application. Finally, the applicant or his or her agent will have an opportunity to respond to any of the statements made to the committee. All right, having said all that, if you choose to speak, if you're sitting here, I would ask that you raise your hand and I will ask you to come forth to the podium. There's a button there that will have the microphone come on so we can hear what you're saying. I think there's a red light appears, so if you would ensure that is on before you start speaking, we would appreciate that. We will afford everyone 10 minutes to make their application. No one, I don't believe, has ever taken that long, but we do afford you that time. And if you find that you can't possibly get it all in the 10 minutes, then I will ask the committee if they will afford you a couple more minutes. But I'm not sure that's ever happened. Maybe once, maybe not. Anyway, and for those online, When I ask if there's anyone online that wishes to speak to it, I would appreciate it when your picture comes on. You identify yourself. There are occasions when we don't see you, but we can hear you, so the same applies. Please state your name, and then we will carry on from there. So having said all that, we will move to the first one on the agenda, which is a deferred application, and I'm advised that we're looking for a further deferral. So, Mr. Shahid, would you speak to your deferral, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So yeah, this is actually an application returned from the initial January committee hearing. The deferral was due to new information that was found that required further review and evaluation by staff. Due to a change in what was being proposed and a new hearing date, the application was recirculated. However, the sign was not posted at the property by the applicant, resulting in a failure to meet provincial legislative advertising requirements. And the applicant is aware of this and requested themselves to be moved to the March agenda. So we recommend the application be deferred to the March committee hearing. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any questions of the planner? All right. With the motion, once I get a motion on the floor on the deferral, all we can speak to is the time frame, and I think the planner has asked that it return no later than the March meeting. So can I get a motion to that effect? Ms. Richardson, do I have a seconder? Mr. Erickson? All right. Any further comments or questions with respect to the time frame? Being none, all right. Ms. Richardson?
In favor.
Mr. Erickson?
In favor.
Mr. Finn?
In favor.
Ms. Archer?
In favor.
Councillor Yeo?
In favor.
All right. Mr. Strangway?
In favor.
And I'm in favor. The deferral is approved. I'm assuming the owner isn't here, or the applicant isn't here, or online. All right. We're now dealing with file number D20-2026-012. This is 69 McGill Drive, Geographic Township of Manvers. Mr. Shahid, you're on again, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the subject property is waterfront on Balsam Lake with access from McGill Drive in an area of single detached dwellings and typical accessory structures. Municipal Property Assessment Corporation notes that most of the structures were built in the late 1900s with later renovations and additions. So the subject property currently contains a single detached dwelling and 2 accessory storage structures in the front yard. The proposal seeks to facilitate the construction of a 2-story detached garage. The owner has indicated that the existing accessory structures will be removed and replaced by the proposed garage. The proposed garage complies with all provisions of the applicable zoning bylaw, with the exception of the front yard setback, side yard setback, and height. The original application was circulated illustrating a 0.91 meter side yard setback. Following discussions between the applicant and staff, the applicant agreed to increase the setback to 1.1 meters to provide greater separation while maintaining compliance with septic requirements and ensuring functional access. So based on aerial imagery, it is not uncommon to see accessory structures located closer to the road than what is required. Moreover, the placement of the garage on the subject property is restricted due to the configuration of existing buildings and the septic system. Regarding the side yard setback, the proposed garage is situated at an angle to align and be parallel with the existing dwelling. And the setback aligns the garage with the dwelling for visual consistency. It maintains buffering from existing vegetation, so the house remains visually dominant from the road, and provides sufficient turning space without impacting the septic. Regarding height, the existing dwelling is larger in both height and floor area than the proposed garage. So the garage height will allow it to replace storage currently provided by front yard accessory structures, while views from the road will remain buffered by existing vegetation along the front lot line, which will be preserved. After the writing of the report, comments were received from the Development Engineering Division, the Septic Division, stating they have no concerns with the application. The Building Division stated that if there isn't any habitable space contained within the garage, there could be a concern for spatial separation, which would affect the construction of the exposed building face, and that this could be dealt with at the building permit stage. I should mention here, though, that there is no habitable space proposed within the garage. To conclude, staff acknowledges the application meets all 4 tests of a minor variance, and we respectfully recommend approval of the application, subject to the conditions identified. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shahid, and I send my apologies to the director, because she's, if not the most important, one of the most important people here, the Director of Development Services, Ms. Berry. I missed you, Ms. Berry. You're usually over here, but my apologies. All right. Okay, are there any questions of, yes, Mr. Strangway?
Just a quick clarification. You had mentioned the properties on excuse me, sorry, on Balsam Lake, and yet it's Manvers Township. That doesn't, the two don't fit. And then in the diagram, it says Scugog. Just wanted a clarification on that.
Through you, Mr. Chair, give me a second here to take a look. It could have just been a typo from my end, which most likely it was. Let me confirm. Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, thank you for that correction. It is Scugog Lake, not Balsam Lake.
And just one further question, if I may. Do I understand correctly, there are no plans for habitable space on the second floor of the garage at this time?
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, that is correct.
And if that was to change, they'd have to go through a building permit application?
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, that is correct.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Any further questions, Ms. Archer?
Through you, please, to the planner. I realize this isn't in Lindsay, but if it were in Lindsay, it seems to be in a built-up area. What are the side yard requirements if it were in Lindsay? 1.1 doesn't seem very big, but if it's what it is in a bigger area, then seems okay.
Through you, Mr. Chair, so zoning bylaws typically differ in terms of what is required for a side yard setback. Some zoning bylaws have specific side yard setbacks for accessory structures in residential zones. Usually it's like 1.2 meters, but some zoning bylaws differ. I can take a look at what Lindsay would provide, what Lindsay states. In Lindsay, it is 1.25 meters.
Anything further from committee? All right. Is the applicant here or online? Yes. Do you wish to speak to the application? All right. Then I'll ask the committee, are there any questions of the applicant? All right. Being none. Is there anyone here or online that wishes to speak in support of this application, in support of the application? Anyone here or online wishing to speak in opposition to the application? Opposition to the application? I'm told there are none. Committee, where are we? Ms. Archer?
It's printed.
All right, seconded by Mr. Strangway. All right. Any further comments or questions with respect to the motion on the floor? All right, Ms. Archer?
In favor.
Mr. Strangway?
In favor.
Ms. Richardson?
In favor.
Councilor Yeo?
In favor.
All right. Mr. Finn?
In favor.
Mr. Erickson?
In favor.
All right, and I'm in favor. The application is approved. All right. You got off pretty easy. All right, moving right along. We're now dealing with file number D20-2026-013, and this is 134 Ball Point Road, Geographic Township, Mariposa. Mr. Shahid, you're a busy fellow. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is located on a peninsula with shoreline exposure on Lake Scugog on both sides and access from Ball Point Road. The subject property currently contains a single detached dwelling, a boathouse, and a shed. So the application submitted was originally for the recognition of both the existing boathouse and shed. Following discussions between the owner and staff, the owner agreed to relocate the boathouse to a location that satisfies the requirements of the zoning bylaw. Staff determined that relocating the shed would be difficult and would require relief regardless of the location. Therefore, the application seeks to facilitate the recognition of only the existing shed. And the owner has indicated that the shed has been existing on the property since their purchase of the lot in 2024, with aerial imagery showing a structure was placed sometime there between 2008 and 2013. So along Ball Point Road, there is no existing uniform setback from the street. Alternative locations for the shed are restricted due to the lot's existing built form configuration and septic system location. Placing the shed in the rear yard would result in the shed being within the water setback, while placing the shed in any of the side yards would result in both a non-compliant building separation setback and also a non-compliant interior side yard setback. Placement of the shed must also take into account distancing requirements from the existing septic system, which is located in the front yard. The existing shed does not impede on access for the purposes of maintenance, and drainage or crowding is avoided with lot coverage compliance. Moving on to comments. After the writing of the report, comments were received from the Development Engineering Division, Building Division, and the Septic Division stating they have no concerns with the application. Comments were also received from the neighbor at 136 Ball Point Road with concerns regarding the front yard setback of the shed and its impact on views when coming off their driveway. I just want to say thank you to the neighbor for their input. Luckily, I do have a picture here on the slide. So just for committee's reference, the two images to the left on the slide shows the driveway of 136 Ball Point Road, and the driveway is on the left-hand side of the shed, which I have circled. And one can see that the traveled portion of the driveway extends further into the road shoulder than where the shed is placed. Overall, staff acknowledges the application meets all four tests of a minor variance, and we respectfully recommend approval of the application subject to the conditions identified. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Questions of the planner? Mr. Strangway.
Thank you. Mr. Shahid, could you just give me a little more information on the request to move the boathouse?
Through you, Mr. Chair, for sure. So originally the application was submitted to recognize the existing boathouse because it had a non-compliant side yard setback. But when I was speaking to the owner, who's actually here today, she had mentioned that she's going to be moving the boathouse on her own will, just to make it comply with the zoning bylaw, so we only have to deal with the shed for the minor variance application. The boathouse with its current side yard setback is non-compliant at 0 meters, so they're going to be moving it over so it's compliant at 2 meters.
That's fine. Thank you very much.
Further questions of the planner? Ms. Asher?
Just, could you clarify for me, please? That shed has been there for at least 13 years, and now it's coming to our attention?
Through you, Mr. Chair, as mentioned in the report, I saw that based on aerial imagery, there seems to be a shed or something placed there between 2008 to 2013. As far as I know and what I've heard from the owner is that she bought the property in 2024 and that shed was existing.
We don't know if that's the same shed that was there in 2013. Is that the problem?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I can't confirm that.
We may wish to follow that up with the applicant if they're here. Anything for, yes, Mr. Finn, go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Chair. I'm just looking at Appendix C, and perhaps you could explain again the driveway situation. You seem to indicate that the driveway extended beyond the shed. And if the shed's 1.82 meters from the roadway, it appears to me the driveway must extend onto the road.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Yes, when I was speaking about the driveway, so where, for example, if we look at the image on the slide, I'll make reference to...
Do we have a laser? Yeah. It certainly helps.
Sure, okay, I'll point here. Okay, so this is the shed, and this is the property, and this is the neighbor, and this is their driveway. So their driveway extends beyond their property into the road shoulder. I'm not sure exactly where the lot line is for their property, but
Yes, okay. Okay, so it would appear that the driveway does extend onto the roadway.
through you, Mr. Chair, I mean, the neighbor's property, for me, I just can't confirm that because I'm not sure exactly where their lot line is. But yeah, their neighbor's property does appear to be extending pretty close to the road.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further from committee? Ms. Archer?
Through you, please, are there any more properties on that road that have buildings as close to the road?
Mr. Sheet?
Through you, Mr. Chair, let me go back to aerial imagery. Okay, well, unfortunately, the aerial imagery is a bit zoomed in. So when I was taking a look at the properties through aerial imagery, there does appear to be many other accessory structures that are within the front yard. I can't give an exact measurement because our aerial imagery is just for reference. So I'm not exactly sure, but I can say for certain that there are many accessory structures within the front yard along this road.
Anything further from committee? All right. Is the applicant here? You might want to come forward, ma'am. I think there might be a couple of questions from committee members here. So if you just hit the red light there, or if you can get it on, and state your name.
Diane Porosnik.
All right. Did you wish to say anything to the application?
No, Mr. Shahid has covered it. Basically, the only thing I would like to say about my neighbor's property, they do have all of the front in front of their house paved right down to the road. So they have paved over the township property there. So my shed does not impede on them pulling out because it is closer to my house than their parking lot.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Schring, did you want to follow up with your questions to the applicant, or you're satisfied?
No, just based on what I heard now, that helps greatly. Thank you.
And Ms. Archer?
Thank you, but I think just from what I've read and what I've heard, you don't really know for sure if this exact shed has been there for 13 years. You just know for the last 2.
Well, I believe from my neighbor, who's also provided a letter, that it's been there prior to me buying the house. And I mean, I think they've been there, as far as I could say, honestly, knowing that the previous owner had them put in, and they unfortunately both have passed away. So I would say they've probably been there at least 5 years, 6 years, that I know that they would have been. But I know from an aerial picture that there was a shed right where this one is, probably an older shed, and this one maybe replaced it a number of years ago.
Anything further of the applicant? All right. Thank you. We do appreciate you taking the time.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Is there anyone here online wishing to speak in support of this application, in support of the application? Anyone here online wishing to speak in opposition to the application? Opposition to the application? All right, committee, I'm advised no. I need a motion. Mr. Finn?
As requested.
All right, seconded by Councilor Yord. I see your hand there. All right.
Yes, sir.
Any further comments or questions with respect to the motion on the floor? All right. Mr. Finn.
In favor?
Councillor Yeo.
In favor?
Mr. Erickson.
In favor.
Ms. Archer.
In favor.
Ms. Richardson.
In favor.
Mr. Steinway.
In favor.
And I'm in favor. Your application is approved. All right. All right, we're now dealing with file number D20-2026-014. And this is vacant land, Homewood Park Road, Geographic Township of Bexley. And I believe we have a memo. Mr. Kfari, would you like to speak to that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
This is relative to a deferral, so go ahead.
Yeah. So this one's in regards to vacant land, Homewood Park Road in Bexley. So since the circulation of the application, new information has been received that requires further review and evaluation. We recommend that the application be deferred for a period of no more than 3 months to allow time for the applicants and/or owners to work with staff to address the comments and concerns. So I will pass this on to you now, Mr. Chair, for deliberation with members of committee.
Any questions to the planner? All right, being none, again, the only thing to be discussed on a deferral motion is the time frame. So can I get a motion on the floor? Ms. Richardson, do I have a seconder? Ms. Archer? All right. Everyone's happy with the time frame? All right. Ms. Richardson?
In favor.
Ms. Archer?
In favor.
All right. Before I go any further with that, I think I should, is there anyone here or anyone online that wishes to speak to the application? No. Because there's always someone that says, well, I didn't get a chance to say, so we got it, we gave them the chance. All right, where am I then? Did I get the mover and seconder? All right. Mr. Erickson?
Favor.
In favor?
Councilor Yeo, did I hear you say yea or nay?
Yeah, in favor. Sorry, I didn't hear you. I don't think your mic.
Yeah, no, you didn't hear me because I didn't have the mic on. It's one of those days. Ms. Richardson?
I was a mover to that.
Mr. Steinway?
In favor.
All right, and I'm in favor. That carries the deferral. Okay, we're now dealing with file number D20-2026-015, and this is 142 Fenland Drive, Geographic Township of Fenland. And I would advise committee, before I ask Mr. Rokowicz to proceed, you do have a memo there with respect to updated conditions. So go ahead, Mr. Rokowicz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The property is situated in an established waterfront community along Sturgeon Lake with access from the public road Fenland Drive. The property currently contains a single detached dwelling and a boathouse. A detached garage in the front yard is proposed and requests relief from the minimum front yard setback and the total lot coverage for accessory structures. The zoning bylaw requires a front yard setback of 7.5 meters. The proposed detached garage has a front yard setback of 3 meters. The proposed setback remains consistent with the character and scale of the surrounding properties, with several properties in the area appearing to have existing accessory structures near the front lot line. The proposal is not anticipated to impede sight lines, and adequate space remains for traffic flow and road maintenance. Additionally, a greater setback from the road would result in the garage encroaching into the area of the existing septic bed. The zoning bylaw also permits a maximum lot coverage of 8% or 225 square meters for accessory structures. The proposed lot coverage for all accessory structures is 10.4%. Significant open space is preserved in the rear yard as well as open space in the front and side yards. As such, the proposed lot coverage does not compromise the balance between built and open space on the lot. Comments were received after the writing of the report from the engineering department as well as the building division, indicating that they have no concerns. Comments were also received from the supervisor of Part 8 sewage systems that adds a condition that states approval under the Ontario Building Code pertaining to private sanitary waste disposal be obtained within a period of 8 months after the date of the notice of decision. This condition will be considered fulfilled upon achievement of compliance to the satisfaction of the supervisor of Part 8 sewage systems. Staff acknowledges the application meets all 4 tests of a minor variance and respectfully recommends approval of the application subject to the conditions identified. Thank you.
Questions of the planner, Mr. Strangway?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one quick question. Looking at the Appendix C and the diagram, it appears that the garage is considerably larger than the house. What are the actual measurements of the garage? I see some very small figures there. I'm having trouble reading those.
Through the chair, the proposed garage is 130 meters squared. The house itself is 71.2 meters squared, but nothing in the zoning bylaw prevents, in this zoning bylaw in Finland, prevents an accessory structure to be greater than the primary.
I guess I was of the impression that usually the dwelling where people live was the primary structure on the property. How high is the garage?
Through the chair, the height of the garage is 4.7 meters, so well below the required or the limit of 5 meters.
Okay, thank you.
And I suppose the primary, what's primary sort of has something to do with the location as well? Whether one overshadows the other, and it would appear that doesn't happen here?
Through the chair, so the way that the house is positioned, I don't believe that a garage would overshadow the primary use. There's nothing in the zoning bylaw that prevents in Fenland Falls. There are some provisions, I believe, in other township zoning bylaws that would have an issue with an accessory structure being greater than the primary, but in this case, there isn't any.
And we have to deal with them all, so that's where the questions come from. All right, Ms. Archer.
Through you, please. On page 2, it makes note that there is a portable fabric shelter and a trailer on the property, but I don't see them on the sketch. Can you tell me where they are? And are they going to be removed once this ginormous garage is built?
Through the chair, so the location of the shelter and the trailer are on the left side. The fabric shelter isn't considered an accessory structure because it would be considered to be removable. It's not a permanent structure tied to anything. It's just a basically covered portion. The trailer is under, from pictures that during my site visits, would be under 5 tons. So that would be permitted as a motor vehicle on the property. So there wouldn't be any issues there.
Anything further, Mr. Finn?
Just following on from the questions about the size of the garage, do you have any information as to why it has to be so large? We don't, oftentimes we have a diagram of the proposed building. We don't have that here.
Through the chair, I think that question would be best suited towards the applicant to maybe explain the purpose of the garage.
Okay, thank you.
So hold that thought, Mr. Finn. All right, anything further of the planner? Ms. Archer.
Just one further question. So if the proposed garage were set back within the limits of the side yard and front yard setbacks, that wouldn't have to be here. This would not be here?
Through the chair, yes, that's correct.
They could situate it straight right in front of the dwelling and we wouldn't have any say at all. So this is better than there, right? Is that what we're saying?
Through the chair, some of the issues that prevented them from making it more compliant with the front yard setback is due to septic concerns. That's why there is a final condition pending for the supervisor of septic to confirm that there will be no issue. If they did bring it more in near the house, septic would have an issue with that.
Anything further from committee? All right, is the applicant here? Or online? Well, I guess we're not going to get to ask any questions. All right, Well, I'll try that again. Is the applicant here or the applicant online? All right. Is there anyone here online that wishes to speak in support of the application? In support of the application? Anyone here online wishing to speak in opposition to the application? Opposition to the application? Being none, committee, and this will be as amended. Councillor Yeo,
Yeah, I'll move it as amended.
do I have a seconder? Mr. Erickson, any further comments or questions with respect to the amended motion? Being none, Councillor Yeo.
In favor?
Mr. Erickson?
In favor.
Mr. Finn?
In favor.
Ms. Archer?
In favor?
Ms. Richardson?
In favor.
Mr. Schreinet?
In favor.
All right, and I'm in favor. The application is approved. All right, we're now dealing with file number D20-2026-017. This is 1535 Highway 7, Geographic Township of Ops. And again, you have a memo there with respect to updated conditions. Mr. O'Callaghan, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is located along Highway 7 and contains a mixed-use building consisting of 3 dwelling units and a restaurant that was built in 1950 based on data from MPAC. The proposal is to reconstruct 2 dwelling units that were damaged in a fire, and relief is requested from the minimum rear yard setback. The zoning bylaw requires a rear yard setback of 15 meters. The proposed dwelling units have a rear yard setback of 1.03 meters and 4.34 meters. The property to the rear is currently used for agricultural purposes and has no buildings or structures located near the shared property line. Therefore, maintaining the existing rear yard setback will not create any concerns related to privacy or building separation, as there are no nearby structures on the abutting property, and existing setbacks will be maintained without further encroachment, as it will be rebuilt within the same footprint. Comments were received after the writing of the report from the engineering department as well as the building division, indicating that they have no concerns. Comments were also received from the supervisor of Part 8 sewage systems that adds a condition that states approval under the Ontario Building Code pertaining to private sanitary waste disposal be obtained within a period of 8 months after the date of notice of decision. This condition will be considered fulfilled upon achievement of compliance to the satisfaction of the supervisor of Part 8 sewage systems. Staff acknowledges the application meets all 4 tests of a minor variance and respectfully recommends approval of the application subject to the conditions identified. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Questions of the planner? No. All right, being none. Is the applicant here or online? Does the applicant wish to speak to the application? I'm advised there may be someone online.
Yes.
And your name, sir?
Hi, my name is Santiago from Rockmar Engineering.
All right, we're having problems hearing you, sir. Could you speak up a little louder for us, please?
Hi. Yes, my name is Santiago Lee from Rockmar Engineering.
All right, thank you. Do you wish to speak to the application?
I'm representing Ms. Rubilisa Com.
Do you wish to speak to the application?
Yeah, just for clarification, the reconstruction is for clarification.
You're breaking up.
The reconstruction for the dwelling.
You're breaking up on us terribly there. So is there another button you can push, or we can't hear you all the time. You're breaking up. You want to try again?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, but you're coming and going. So try it again and we'll see what happens. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay. Yeah, just for clarification, for the reconstruction is only for the rear dwelling, and the second one is for repair only.
All right, did you wish to say anything further?
That's all.
Okay, is there any questions of the applicant? All right, thank you, sir, for that. Is there anyone here online wishing to speak in support of the application? In support of the application? Anyone here online wishing to speak in opposition to the application? Opposition to the application? All right, being none. Mr. Finn?
As recommended with the updated conditions.
Yeah, as amended, okay. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Erickson? All right. Any further comments or questions with respect to the amended motion on the floor? All right, Mr. Finn?
In favor?
Mr. Erickson?
In favor.
Mr. Archer?
In favor?
All right. Councilor Yeo?
In favor.
Ms. Richardson?
In favor.
Mr. Strongway?
In favor.
And I'm in favor. Your application is approved, sir. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Good. All right. We're now dealing with file number D20-2026-018, and this is no civic address, King Street, former village of Woodville. Go ahead, Mr. Shahid.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is located in the eastern edge of the hamlet of Woodville, primarily a low-density residential community with access from King Street. So the subject minor variance application is required as a condition of a approved consent. The proposed application seeks to facilitate the construction of a single detached dwelling with attached garage on a new lot to be severed from the subject property. The front lot line dividing the lot to be severed from King Street is slanted and not uniformly in line with the rest of King Street to the west. The front lot line is situated approximately 5.1 meters further away from King Street in comparison to the remainder of King Street in Woodville. As such, if the front lot line of the lot to be severed was similar to that of the rest of King Street westward, the proposed front yard setback would be approximately 10.6 meters, which is compliant with the zoning bylaw. The deficient front yard setback avoids placing the dwelling within the flood hazard and complies with all flood requirements. In terms of comments, after the writing of the report, comments were received from the Development Engineering Division, the Building Division, and the Septic Division, stating they have no concerns with the application. The Lake Simcoe Conservation Authority also had a comment, to which I included it on the report. They also had no concerns, and they mentioned that a permit will be required. All in all, staff acknowledges the application meets all four tests of a minor variance, and we respectfully recommend approval of the application subject to the conditions identified. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions of the planner? Ms. Richardson?
Through you, typically for something that's subject to a consent, the conditions of consent are attached as well, and they aren't to this application?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So the consent was a separate application that has already been processed. And then as a result of that consent, it was found that their dwelling that they're proposing needs a minor variance. So the consent has been completed and there is a condition on the consent for this to come to a minor variance. That's why we're dealing with this today.
Thank you. Anything further of the planner? Is the applicant here online? Oh, there we are. I do recognize that person, but would you state your name for us?
Through you, Mr. Chair, Vanessa Archer,
right.
TD Consulting on behalf of the owners. So I don't have anything really additionally to add. As the planner had noted, if the lot line was in line with the rest of them, it would be about 10 meters or so. The road, I will note, is also noted on that drawing as well, and it's about 15.3 meters to the road from the dwelling. So additionally, it's a lot further than it looks like. It's just the lot line is a little bit skewed on that property, as he noted. So if there's any additional questions, I'm here.
And are there any questions of the deputy? Well, looks like you get an easy day as well. All right. Is there anyone here or online wishing to speak in support of the application? In support of the application? Anyone here or online wishing to speak in opposition to the application? Opposition to the application? All right. Being none, committee, where are we? Mr. Strangway?
As recommended by staff.
All right. Do I have a seconder? Mr. Councilor Yeo? All right. Any further comments or questions with respect to the motion on the floor? Mr. Erickson?
I acknowledge the motion. I just wondered, out of curiosity, do they have to obtain an access permit to the road?
Is this a question to the planner?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Do they have to obtain an access permit to the road?
Mr. Rashid?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, as part of the consent, they actually had to consult the Public Works Division to make sure that there's an entrance viable. So that is a condition they have to fulfill. I'm not sure if it has been fulfilled, but the applicant is here and they can let you know how that's going.
Did you wish to follow that up with the applicant? No. Okay. Yes.
Sorry, I should have asked this earlier. Have we had a response from the wastewater? It sounds like this is very close to the Lake Simcoe region, and I just wondered, have they dealt with that, or are they waiting for something?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So the supervisor Part 8 sewage systems, because this property has individual well and individual septic systems, so she did take a look at the application. She had no concerns.
All right. Any further comments or questions with respect to the motion on the floor? Who moved that? Mr. Strangway, I was you on it. All right. Being none? All right. Mr. Strangway?
In favor.
Councilor Yeo?
In favor?
Ms. Richardson?
In favor.
Ms. Archer?
In favor.
Mr. Erickson?
In favor.
Mr. Finn?
In favor?
And I'm in favor. The application is approved. All right, we're now dealing with file number D20-2026-019, and this is 46 Star Boulevard, the geographic township of Mariposa. And again, I would advise that we have a memo there with respect to amended conditions. Mr. Ghaffari, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So 4.1.7, 46 Star Boulevard, Mariposa. The subject property municipally addressed as 46 Star Boulevard is situated in the geographic township of Mariposa and is accessed from Star Boulevard. The property currently contains a single-family detached dwelling with an attached garage, a detached garage, and a sauna. The application is to recognize an existing detached garage that replaced the original garage and was constructed in 2018. Relief is required from the interior side yard setback, front yard setback, and maximum number of accessory buildings provisions. So the subject property is zoned rural residential type 3 RR3 zone under the Township of Mariposa zoning bylaw 94-07. Section 3.1.2.2 of the zoning bylaw requires a minimum interior side yard setback of 2 meters. The existing detached garage has a side yard setback of 1.5 meters. The intent of a side yard setback is to ensure that privacy is maintained, space for maintenance and access is provided, and overcrowding is avoided. In this case, there is space provided between the subject property and the neighboring property. Furthermore, their privacy is also maintained as the subject garage is not used for human habitation, and there's also existing vegetation along their shared lot line. Section 14.2.1.3 of the zoning bylaw requires a minimum front yard setback of 7.5 meters. The existing detached garage has a front yard setback of 3.3 meters. The intent of the minimum front yard setback is to ensure adequate spatial separation between the built form and the traveled portion of the street. In this case, the existing detached garage is peripheral in relation to the lot and is partially buffered by vegetation along the front lot line, and there is no impact to sightlines or the flow of traffic. And section 3.1.3.3 of the zoning bylaw permits a maximum of 2 accessory structures. With the recognition of the existing detached garage, there will be 3 accessory structures, being the garage, a shed, and a sauna. The intent of the maximum number of accessory structures provision is to maintain the low-density residential use of properties and prevent any potential overcrowding. In this case, the property maintains a compliant accessory structure lot coverage at 3.7% from an allowance of 10%, and the existing accessory structures are not clustered together, which results in the accessory structures remaining subordinate to the primary use of the property and avoiding overcrowding. As a result, the variance is considered to maintain the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw. In terms of comments were received after the writing of the report from the engineering department and the building and septic division, indicating that they have no concerns. Comments were also received from the Part H sewage system supervisor, indicating that a condition be added for a sewage system evaluation to be conducted to determine the location and confirm that minimum clearance distances can be maintained to the proposed replacement structure. Furthermore, some comments were also received from a member of the public, I believe the neighboring property, with some concerns. Based on the concerns, I did have initially a communication by phone with the public member, and afterwards followed up by email. At this moment, staff acknowledges that the application meets all 4 tests of a minor variance and recommends approval of the application subject to the conditions identified.
Thank you. Questions of the planner? Ms. Hart?
Through you, please, to the planner. On Schedule Appendix C, it appears that the shed and the sauna are even closer to the lot line than the sheds, or than the garage. So why are we not dealing with them as well at this time?
Through the chair, so those structures are currently existing and not the subject of the minor variance at the moment.
Why not? I mean, why don't we clear it all up? Somebody could come back again and we'll have to do this all over again.
Through the chair. So usually it's not our part to kind of clear up things like that. Usually it'd have to come in through an application or through an enforcement file where we would address those concerns.
All right. Anything further from committee? Mr. Finn?
Just one further question. Through the Appendix C shows the sauna. It appears to be attached to the existing dwelling. Is that correct? And even though it's attached, I take it is considered an independent accessory structure?
Through the chair, I believe it's close to the deck. I think in the drawing, the applicant might have made it appear that it's attached.
Sorry. Thank you.
Further from committee, Mr. Strangway.
Yes, thanks. Further to the shed, we often see these sheds come in the application. If I understand correctly, a shed of under a certain size does not need a permit. I'm wondering how small this shed is, and is that in fact the case that, what is it, under 108 square feet? I could be wrong on that. The sheds do not need a permit.
Through your chair, a residential shed can be up to 15 square meters, which is roughly 160 square feet. If it's any other structure other than a residential shed, it can be up to 10 square meters, which is the 108 square feet in which you were referring to.
Would it be of value when we see something like, excuse me, when we see something like this on the drawings, if we knew what the size of these sheds were? I'm wondering whether the shed even needs a permit. I throw that question out.
Through the chair. So the size of the shed itself is 7.52 square meters. I believe it was not included in the drawing as it was not subject to the minor variance at hand, but it's a good point.
Anything further, Mr. Strangway?
No, just as we move forward, I'm just, we often see the number of accessory structures, and often one of them is a shed. And I often wonder whether, it really applies to the application, whether it needs to be considered in the application if it's less than the required size.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yep. I think staff have responded to that, so we'll let that go then. Is there anything further from committee? All right, being none. Applicant here. Yes, sir. Do you wish to speak to it? Yes, please come forward. But you push the button there and get your red light on. Your name is?
My name is Peter Gadsden.
All right, please go ahead.
Yeah, this was an existing garage that I simply just rebuilt wall for wall. That's what I did there. The other structures, that shed you're referring to is 9 by 9, and the sauna is not attached to anything. It could be moved.
Any questions of the applicant? Mr.
Chair, did you have to get a permit for the sauna?
No, it's a separate movable building.
Because it's portable?
That's
Okay.
correct, yes.
Anything further from the applicant? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you taking the time.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone here online wishing to speak in support of this application? In support of the application? Anyone here online wishing to speak in opposition to the application? Opposition to the application? Being none, committee. Mr.
I recommend in accordance with the revised conditions.
As amended, all right. Do I have a seconder, Mr. Erickson? All right. Any further comments or questions with respect to the amended motion on the floor? All right, being none, Mr. Finn.
In favor?
Mr. Erickson?
Favor.
Ms. Archer?
In favor.
Councillor Yo?
In favor.
Ms. Richardson?
In favor.
Mr. Strangway?
In favor.
And I'm in favor. Your application is approved. Thank you. We're now dealing with file number D, actually two files, and we will treat them separately with respect to motions. It's file number D20-2026-020 and D03-2026-002. This is 10 Emily Street North, former village of Omimi. Mr. Okawat, go ahead, sir.
Thank you. The purpose and effect is to facilitate the creation of one new residential lot that requires a minor variance. The subject property is located in the former village of Omimi and currently contains a single detached dwelling, a detached garage, and a shed. Relief is requested from the minimum required lot area and to temporarily permit two accessory structures on a lot without a primary use. The proposed severance will result in the creation of a new residential lot containing a detached garage and shed with a primary dwelling to be constructed at a later date. The retained parcel will continue to accommodate the existing single detached dwelling. The subject property is currently one of the larger lots in the neighborhood, and the creation of an additional residential lot will support densification goals by promoting more efficient use of the land while maintaining compatibility with the surrounding urban character. Furthermore, the proposal aligns with the province and city's housing goals. The zoning bylaw requires a minimum lot area of 830 square meters when serviced by municipal sewers. The proposed lot area of both the severed and retained parcel is 642.3 square meters. The proposed lot areas of both the severed and retained parcels are sufficient to accommodate stormwater absorption and future development within a building envelope that conforms to the provisions of the zoning bylaw. Adequate open space will be preserved for each lot, ensuring that applicable setbacks will be maintained and complied with. The zoning bylaw defines accessory building as a detached building or structure on the same lot as the main building devoted exclusively to accessory use. As a result, of the severance, the two accessory buildings will temporarily remain on the severed lot as standalone structures without a main use. The granting of this variance will allow the accessory use to continue without a primary use until the decision of a committee of adjustment lapses. After this time, a primary use will need to be established for an accessory structures to be compliant with the zoning bylaw. This temporary arrangement is not anticipated to create any negative impacts. Comments were received after the writing of the report from the engineering department as well as the building division indicating that they have no concerns. Staff acknowledges the proposed consent represents good planning and the minor variance meets all four tests of a minor variance. Staff recommends approval of the applications.
Thank you. Questions of the planner, Mr. Strangway?
Thank you, through you. How long does the applicant have before they have to put a primary building on that lots?
Through the chair, so the minor variance has a condition that would let them grant this temporary use for 2 years or 24 months. After that, those two buildings would become non-compliant, and they would need to either come back to a minor variance or go through some other Planning Act application to permit those two structures to stand alone. But we're giving them those 2 years to develop that primary use.
Thank you, that's great.
Anything further from committee? And as we say, we're dealing with a minor variance and a consent application, so just so, all right. Is the applicant here? Yes, do you wish to speak to it? All right. Are there any questions of the applicant? All right. Is there anyone here or online wishing to speak in support of this application, in support of the application? Anyone here or online wishing to speak in opposition to this application? Opposition to the application? I'm advised there aren't any, so let's deal with the minor variance application first. Where are we? Mr. Strangway. All right. Do we have a seconder? Do I have Councillor Yeo seconds? Any further comments or questions with respect to the motion on the floor regarding the minor variance? All right, being none, Mr. Strangway.
In favor.
Councillor Yeo.
In favor?
Ms. Richardson.
In favor.
Ms. Archer.
In favor.
Mr. Erickson.
In favor.
Mr. Finn.
In favor?
And I'm in favor. Your application is approved on the variance, sir. Now we'll deal with the consent. Do I have a motion with respect to the consent application? Mr. Finn?
As recommended.
Do I have a seconder? Ms. Richardson? Any further comments or questions with respect to the consent application on the floor? All right, being none, Mr. Erickson, or Mr. Finn?
In favor?
Ms. Richardson?
In favor.
Mr. Strangway?
In favor.
Councillor Yeo?
In favor.
Ms. Archer?
In favor.
Mr. Erickson?
In favor.
And I'm in favor. Both your applications are approved, sir. All right. Thank you. We're now dealing with file number D20-2026-021, and this is 35 Loon Street, Geographic Township of Ops. And again, we have a memo with respect to updated conditions. And who have I got here? Mr. Shahid, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The subject property is situated on the shoreline of Lake Scugog with access from Loon Street. The property currently contains a single detached dwelling that was constructed in 1935 and a boathouse. The existing dwelling is to be entirely demolished, and the proposal seeks to facilitate the construction of a new two-story single detached dwelling with an attached garage and lakeside deck. So the existing front yard setback on the property is 0.0 meters, with the front porch situated directly on the front lot line. The proposal improves the existing front yard setback, and it can be seen from aerial imagery that many neighboring dwellings appear to be situated even closer to the road than what is proposed. Looking at the water setback now, the existing shoreline is slanted and not parallel to the proposed dwelling. causing certain points of the proposed development to be closer to the shoreline. Options for locating the dwelling in a compliant location are limited as the lot is not deep and required setbacks from the septic system must also be maintained. Based on aerial imagery, the proposed development aligns with and is greater in some instances the neighboring properties with respect to its proposed water setback. After the writing of the report, the building division and the engineering division stated they have no comments or concerns. The septic division requested a condition to be placed as the existing system is to be replaced and an evaluation has not been completed at this time. The Kawartha Region Conservation Authority stated that they are in support of the application and that a permit is going to be required. All in all, staff acknowledges the application meets all 4 tests of a minor variance, and we respectfully recommend approval of the application subject to the conditions identified. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions of the planner? Being none, I'm going to assume you're the applicant. Do you wish to speak to it? Are there any questions of the applicant? All right, the applicant's had a pretty easy day here today. All right, is there anyone here or online wishing to speak in support of this application, in support of the application? Anyone here or online wishing to speak in opposition to the application? Opposition to the application? Being none, committee. Ms. Archer?
As amended.
As amended, Ms. Richardson seconding. All right, any further comments or questions with respect to the amended motion on the floor? Ms. Archer?
In favor.
Ms. Richardson?
In favor?
Mr. Strangway?
In favor?
Councillor Yeo?
In favor?
Ms. Erickson?
In favor?
Mr. Finn?
In favor?
And I'm in favor. Your application is approved. Thank you. A pat on the back today for that sort of speed. All right. Under other business, Ms. Berry, Director, do you have anything to advise us of?
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't. I wish I did. We have some time. It was a very efficient meeting, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Again, my apologies for missing you there. I'm usually looking for you over here. I realize it's full now, so.
We're growing, and that's not a bad thing. And please do not give it a second thought. And to your notation about relative importance of whomever, me, certainly the most, not the most important person in the room, I think is, anyway. But we can all be embarrassed from time to time. That is okay. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Anything further from committee under other business? Any suggestions? No swear words, please. All right. Nothing there. Staff over here, anything to say? What a mum group, eh? Like there's nobody saying anything. All right then. No correspondence. The next meeting will be on Thursday, March the 26th at 1 p.m. in council chambers. A motion to adjourn. Mr. Strangway and Ms. Richardson, I think we can go with an all those in favor here, and that carries. All right, thank you.